I'm here with Howson and Abdullah. We're outside Old Trafford. Manchester United have been beaten by City. It doesn't feel good, let's be real, but it's a sobering one, that, isn't it?
It's just shit, mate. At the end of the day, innit? There's no other ways to describe it. Not unexpected. Although the first half we played all right. We're just not as good as them, are we?
Did we play all right, though? Or is it just by the standards we've come to expect of United?
No, we played all right. We created quite a few chances in the first half. Second half, we didn't. Second half, they tightened up the problems. They switched out, put Leroy Sané on, and they absolutely twatted Ashley Young up and down the pitch, didn't they?
They seem to be targeting Ashley Young. I don't want to get you started. I know you seem to be targeting that side of the pitch today, didn't they? And it's a problem.
Yeah, I don't want to go in on him again, but I'm gonna.
Let's not talk about him. Let's talk about the position on the pitch.
There's something I want to talk about. Like, there was a couple of times where I thought Fred's shown some really good flashes today, but he also shown some flashes of inexperience and wanting a little bit too long on the ball. And there was a couple of instances of that, and I was thinking, where your captain would go, hey, calm down, relax, you're doing it all right, or stop pushing it, or try it, don't worry about it, shit like that. Your captain's usually the one that lifts the standard and raises the standard. Ashley Young's like our worst player in possession, and I think, can you imagine Ashley Young trying to bollock someone on the pitch? Hey, get a fucking grip of it, stop giving it away. You'd be like,
I don't need to imagine it because
really?
I see it every week.
But you can imagine like the player's response, like, what are you talking to? You, mate, you're the worst on the pitch. Your captain should be the beacon that everyone.
Do you think we've been starting to see that? Like, people talk about Pogba's performances, De Gea's performances. Do you think we're starting to see players that are getting fed up with what's around them?
Yeah. And can you blame them? We're fed up. You can't be happy. I'm not happy. Like, I was thinking at half-time, look how poor we was in possession. People go, what does it matter if your centre-half can play football? Just go and look how many passes that Van Dijk has for Liverpool. He's usually the guy that has the most possession for Liverpool. We have Chris Smalling, who tries to make a pass, and it looks like someone's just explained how to pass to him, and he passes it, and he's like, oh, that's how it works. Like, it takes him 3 weeks to pass. He looks so uncomfortable passing, it's ridiculous. And then you've got Ashley Young, who's terrible in possession, alongside him, and somehow it's affected De Gea. He can't pass it to them two because it's going to come straight back to him. And it's just fucking carnage, innit? We can't fucking hold possession because half of the team that we've got is terrible in possession. So you can't even try and build on from the back because half of the defence is shit in possession.
Big changes to come in the summer, yeah, or at least we hope so.
If Dave goes...
Is Dave going, really? Come on.
I think he could. I think he could, and you can make a case that maybe he should if we want to play out from the back. Maybe he's not the right guy. There's loads of people that'd say, get rid of Lukaku. Okay, now you need another striker as well as like the 5 or 6 you probably already need. Get rid of Pogba. I've seen that a few times. So now you need another.
That's the most stupid thing ever.
We're not going to sign 10 players, lads. And even if we go cash in on him, let's get 150 million off Real Madrid, someone like that. Well, the last time we did that, we sold Cristiano Ronaldo for a world record fee. We got a free transfer of Michael Owen. We got Obertan and we got Antonio Valencia. What makes you think they're going to invest into the team?
One of them's still here.
We're going nowhere with owners that think top four's all right and they'll only spend to get us back in the top 4.
Is not getting top 4 maybe a blessing in disguise?
No.
Apart from the obvious one that Liverpool.
It's not a blessing in disguise, no, because you think, okay, maybe it's a wake-up call, but they're not going to spend the required money over a sustained period sensibly to get us back competing again. They don't give a fuck if we compete again. Only us lot give a fuck if we compete again. That's all we're here for. They don't give a fuck. They want to maximise commercial revenue and at some point in a distant future sell the club for a big fat profit. That's all they're asked about. So if they have to do the bare minimum to sell shirts, to sell out pre-season tours in the Far East, and to just keep that Champions League revenue coming in, that's what they'll do.
But you can't get new fans. Like, I'm starting to meet people that can't remember the treble and stuff now. It's making me feel super old. But the club can't rely on our previous success getting them new fans, and whether we like it or not, they want new customers. They can't expect new customers because that's what we are when your football's like that.
No, you can't, and it's pretty sad that the treble's 20 years ago and how far away it feels. Martin Edwards wasn't liked a lot by the fans. A lot of fans sick of him all the time with his wage structure and shit like that. But to be fair to the guy, he continually developed Old Trafford. Took it from the shithole it was really in the 80s and made a world-class facility.
And that wage structure kept players in line as well, which we begin to see Alex Sanchez.
We broke it sometimes at the right time. Roy Keane forced us to break it. I'm sure he forgets that when he's going in on them today. Rio Ferdinand forced us to break it a little bit, but we did spend the money that we'd earned, and he knew it was about competing. Look, Martin Edwards, like him or lump him, he's a football guy. And he's a United fan. Yeah, and ultimately Ed Woodward is not. The fact that Ed Woodward is having a fucking opinion about who we should sign is ludicrous. He thinks he's going to get Mounier, right, over like somebody like Wan-Bissaka. Do you honestly think PSG are our best friends at the minute? You just ring them up and be like, hey, can we buy one? Get fucked, you dickhead.
They're taking Herrera off us for free, so they're probably buzzing about that. Abdullah, I'm going to come back to you for a question on the summer. Abdullah, what do you make of that
today? Expected, really. They're a miles better team than us. The quality difference is absolutely scary, man. When you look at it, how far we've fallen behind the likes of City and Liverpool, and especially City out there today. Ashley Young receives the ball. We all have a dig at Ashley Young every week, but it's him still being in the side, and that goes back to the board. But today, and he's the captain as well, and that goes back to the fact that we've not spent the money in the right places. There's no structure at the club. People are already saying, Ollie out. I have seen people like that on Twitter.
Let's not talk about Twitter in real life, please, because this is real life.
No, one sec. Some of these fans come to the ground as well. Some of these fans asking to boo and stuff like that, in the ground. I've had enough of it. But obviously, like, you're seeing people say crazy stuff like that, and they still can't see the bigger picture. The board.
What is the bigger picture?
The board don't care. It's all about revenue. It's always been a business. Like you said, they just want, even if they want the new customers now.
No, but Abdullah, stop. We know that.
Yeah.
But the club have also spent a lot of money. Yeah? Right or wrong? Look. No, listen, I'm just... Spending. Yeah, so it's not about spending money, because throwing money isn't going to... It's about how you spend that money and having a plan in place. Yeah. And we haven't got a plan in place or a structure.
We're a titty bar is what we're like.
Sounds like a good night, that.
That's what I'm saying, though. So I said we're spending money, but we're not spending it in the right places. Ashley Young, there should have been a replacement for him ages ago. He's a left winger. 10 years ago, he's playing right back right now for Manchester United. Just before the goal, he hoofs it up the pitch instead of going into space into midfield. Simple football. Look at City. As soon as their fullbacks receive it, go into midfield, build up play, build like a proper top side in the Premier League. I don't know how we're still in with a chance of the top four, because we're playing like a relegation battle.
City are probably going to go head to head with us for Wan-Bissaka, right? Yeah. That's after they're replacing 50 million in Kyle Walker from, what was that, 2 years ago? That's the levels that you've got to try and achieve. And we're playing, like you just said, man, a failed fucking left winger from 10 bastard years ago.
Again, spending Mendy, supposedly there was things going around about how we didn't want to spend over 30 million on defenders. Lindelof is probably the most we've ever spent, really, on a defender. Look at Van Dijk, how much he costs. Look at Mendy, Kyle Walker, Stones. If you want the best defenders in the world, which we should have been doing, instead of having Smalling and Jones, and I don't trust them if they sell Pogba. Like Steve said, they sold Ronaldo nearly 10 years ago.
Pogba's not going nowhere. Can we stop talking about this, please? No, why are we feeding the bollocks that comes out?
No, that's the reality, though. Pogba could leave, and
he's not going anywhere. Not this summer.
Are you sure of it? It could happen
for sure, man.
This summer is not going anywhere.
Are you certain of it?
Players, but no one's giving City stick for wasting money on Mendy. The thing is, United, we've got to spend money. Yeah, exactly. They're winning. Of course they're winning. United are behind that. United are structurally and managerially and players-wise, they're behind City. But like, no one's having to go at City for wasting fucking 50 million on Mendy. That's a mistake, isn't it? United need to spend a bit of money so that they've got United. Yeah, exactly. City, exactly. It hides a lot of those flaws, but United have got to spend a bit of money and trust in the manager they've got. They've got a lot of players tonight, like Pogba, putting a lot of effort in every single game. People give stick to Pogba. He's by far United's best player. And people
say it again, bro.
He's by far United's best player. He is Man United's only world-class player, especially the way De Gea is playing this season. And people giving Pogba stick like he's got to go. If we lose players like Pogba and De Gea and fucking Rashford, we're a top 6, top 7 team. If we want to push on, we've got to expand on those players, not lose those players. People like Pogba are the core of what this fucking team's got, and that's all we've got at the minute. It's clear who's poor in that side, like you said. So it's not your Rashford's got potential. Pogba today, the amount of times, please Adam, where he turns around, looks for a pass, the movement is poor. No one's making the right moves. It was absolutely shocking.
You opened your big mouth again.
I had to speak about the Pogba stuff, but Obviously, the amount of times he's turning today, looking for passes, all of that. When people are saying, get rid of him, get rid of that, you got to look at the main problems in this team. Chris Smalling can't play with the ball at his feet. We can't pass in midfield. The team looks absolutely abysmal. Look at the way Wolves knock the ball around. Compare that to us. We got outplayed by them twice away from home. Why are we falling behind Wolves? They've just been promoted from the Championship. Those are answers that need to be answered by. Those are questions that need to be answered by Ed Woodward in the summer. And of course, director of football, people who can look on the top, the transfers that are needed, sensible moves in the summer, not just spending money.
It sounds like it's going to be a technical director, which isn't a director of football. And it sounds like it's limited powers, so still got to go to Uncle Ed
Basically
and ask, can I spend money on players that we need? And he'd be like, what's he rated on FIFA though? You know what I mean? That's the sort of bullshit you're going to have to put up with a guy. Supposedly last season, there was like, Alderweireld wants to come. Sound, how much? 40 mil. Can we sign Varane? No, we can't sign Varane, you fucking idiot. Can't sign Varane. How much is he going to cost? Well, he's 100 million there if Varane wants to come. What about him though? That's what last season we finished 19 points behind City. And everyone was like, we need a big summer. We've got to sign first choice players. We've got to sign people that come into the first team. And we've got to sign people that are going to make an impact. Our impact players was Fred, who barely plays week to week, a third choice fucking goalkeeper, and a 19-year-old fullback with half a dozen games to his name. That was never going to catch City. And you see Liverpool taking the piss there with 75 million on Van Dijk. Brand new goalkeeper. Why? Because that's what they fucking needed. And how many times have we said, fucking the Chuckle Brothers still playing at United? They weren't good enough 8 years ago when we got dumped out of the fucking Championship.
And the funny thing is, every time a manager's been sacked, we've come back to this point. It's
What's
not
the
just
common denominator?
the manager. No, but every manager that got sacked deserved to get sacked. So let's not blame the quality of signings just on every manager deserved to get sacked. I refuse to believe any of them should still be here. But we have the same issues that's still here, and they need to be sorted out, obviously. Anyway, guys, thanks for chatting. We finish in top 4.
Don't look like anyone's finishing top 4, does it? I think they're going to be top 2 and then the rest of the fucking league by the looks of it. Jesus.
Might as well relegate us, all of us, Arsenal, Chelsea, well, not Spurs, at least they're getting to a Champions League final.
We've got associate champions at the top, remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just relegate us, basically, because we've had enough of it.
Can we get associate top 4?
Associate top 4 for United. Cheers, boys. Nice one.